be audible now that I've switched to switched to our battle screen while our teams are getting ready.
Yeah.
It's because I muted that. This is why I check every little thing. Okay, hopefully we are audible to all the lovely people, and the scene is ready to go.
Amazing.
Commentator's screen. So there we go. We should be on screen and audible to the lovely people. They should be able to see our little tokens flashing and everything like that. Commentator's screen. Amazing.
There we go.
Alrighty, hello everybody. Welcome to the final match of Conquest Season 3. If there are any issues in the chat, let us know. Make sure everything's running smoothly. We're going to start off the finals with something special we have not done previously in our tournaments, and that is a pre-match interview between our teams. We're going to start off by talking to Goblin Lives Matter, which, as you know, is a team that has come second place in both of our tournaments before now, but has never quite managed to take it. So we're eager to hear what they have to say. As always, hello, my name is Dante, and my co-host here is, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Leo. I help cast on this match on the finals.
Yep. All right, thank you all for being here. As everyone trickles in, let's start off by interviewing our first team. Hello, Goblin Lives Matter. Gentlemen.
Hello.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, was that fair?
Welcome to the finals of Conquest Season 3. Now, we are just talking about quite briefly how you guys have been here before, but you've never managed to take the crown. So, what we're excited to hear about today, briefly, give us a synopsis. What are you guys planning to do differently this time to make sure you guys take the crown?
Um, we're just gonna win. Yeah.
Well said. Well said.
Well said.
We're
Top tier speech.
well, actually, you speak.
I mean, we're gonna not prepare. Not take it serious. That's where we're gonna
Okay.
win.
Chill vibes all the way to victory.
Yep.
We're just gonna win, bro.
Just gonna win. Just that easy.
Yeah.
Okay, what is there a faction that you guys are most interested in trying to play?
Well.
Goblins.
Yep, you're banned. Don't talk again, Axel. Right. So, I mean, if we win the coin flip, if I'm correct, we can let them pick, correct? First, or whatever.
Yes, you can. You can let them pick first.
That would be our plan if we do get picked. Otherwise, that most people just pick themselves if they win the coin flip. It depends what they ban and pick. Depending on that, I will know what to be. I know what Axel will be, and that's the play. So,
gotcha. Yeah. So it's very much so a reactionary style. You're not looking for a specific faction. You're waiting to see what they do and then go based off of that.
Yeah, I mean the favorite faction though would be Easterlings and Harad, and then Gundabad on the side. Yeah.
Gotcha. Is that because of a range advantage or a shock advantage?
Well, both. They have both. So, yeah.
Very nice.
I mean, those are their favorite, but it depends what they play. I have a hard counter which I know about, so we'll see.
Awesome. Leo, what do you have for him?
Do you have any like specific strategy like that comes to mind, or do you have any is there something that you can apply to any faction you play, or any major theory?
Yeah, it depends what faction we play. Some factions, if we get let's say Mordor or Isengard, we're just gonna bum rush. If we're more like Roram, Harad, we'll do a mixture of both. If we're like Gondor, we're gonna sit back. Of course, if they play, depending on what faction they play, and we have superior infantry, we will rush. That's just how it goes. Because normally, if you have superior infantry, you don't want to sit back with it. Normally, you want to go in and just win the fight as quickly as possible. Normally, so
right.
Yeah.
Well, I think the last thing is, what are you guys most worried about?
nothing.
Are the elves on a siege?
Well, Axel, we're banning them. We're just gonna ban them, so they won't be played.
Sure.
But
Elves in a siege. To be fair, that does make sense.
That's
Yeah.
the only worry if we skip past the ban. That ban those factions. But other than that, no worries. We're gonna win this.
Alright.
We're gonna win this.
All right. Well, third time's the charm, you guys. Third time's the charm. With that, we're gonna put you guys back to your VC and go ahead and interview the other team.
I want to go. I want to go. I want to go.
Alrighty, we'll bring in Elf Aim Assist. Hello, Elf Aim Assist. You guys are now live. Feel free to say hi to all the lovely people watching.
Hello.
Alrighty, gentlemen. So, unlike Goblin Lives Matter, this is your first time playing in the Conquest tournament. You guys are going up against two people who have played in both previous tournaments. However, they have only ever come second place. They have never taken the crown, and they are itching to do so this season. What are your guys' thoughts?
It's a shame for them that they're going to come in second place again.
I know. Third time is not the charm. Okay, so what is your guys' biggest strategy going into this faction-wise?
As far as what we're selecting?
Yeah, or at least what you're interested in trying to select.
I think for the land battle initially, well, we want to become the attackers first, but for the land battle, I think we're interested in utilizing at least one bad faction, so that
Hmm.
we can get some trolls and use some superior missile fire to kill a lot of their units that are blobbing around the trolls.
Yeah. Okay. So you're looking to get your hands on at least one shadow faction.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, get some hard-hitting infantry, tie him down, pick him off, see if we can
Yeah.
overwhelm. Yeah.
That makes sense. Leo, what do you have for him?
Is there any major thing that you don't want to go up against, or is there anything that the other team could do that you're not prepared for, or anything along those lines?
I suspect from watching their previous game that I know what their bans are going to be. So as long as they ban what they ban and we ban what I know what we're going to ban, then I think we shouldn't have a problem with four well-placed bans. We shouldn't be fighting anything that we can't beat.
Okay.
All right. Well, with that, we will be bringing the other team in here, and we will be getting into said ban and pick phase. So we'll go ahead and drag them up here. All right, gentlemen, it is time for the ban and pick phase. Now, I will give, since you guys have been here for 2 previous tournaments, I will give Goblin Lives Matter the ability to say heads or tails.
Yeah.
Heads.
Heads it is. Okay. Hold up, let me pull it up on here. I'm not going to be able to pull it up on stream, though. We do not have it a display for it. I'll get all wonky if I do that. Here. Flip a coin. Flip a coin.
Nah, don't flip it.
Okay, cool. That works well. Let me share my screen for you guys so you can see what's going on. I do not want to stream Total War. All right. The stream is live. I'll give you guys a couple seconds to join before I flip the coin.
Tuffington.
Alrighty.
Oh,
Alrighty.
no, it's gonna be tails. What axle you sold?
And ready and flip. Heads, meaning that Goblin Lives Matter gets to choose whether they go first or whether they go second in the ban and pick phase.
We'll go second.
Yeah, you do it.
Okay. Well, with that, we will start off throwing it over to why don't we throw it on over to Elf Aim Assist. Can you guys, please, one of you, give us a faction to ban?
We're gonna ban Anduin Vale.
Anduin Vale, smited to the ground. Okay. Throwing it over to Goblin Lives Matter. Why don't you guys go ahead and give us a faction to ban?
I'll watch for this again.
Okay, Woodland.
Woodland Realm, gone. Alrighty, give us your second ban of the match. Elven Lives Matter? Or excuse me, Elf Aim Assist.
We're gonna ban Dale.
Okay, Dale and Anduin Vale. All right, and the final ban coming in from Goblin Lives Matters.
Lothlorien.
Lothlorien. Okay, so lots of men and lots of elves smited to the ground. Well, that means that Elf Aim Assist, go ahead and give us probably not an elf faction. What is your first faction you guys are going to play?
Mordor.
Okay. Big, mean, and scary. Goblin Lives Matter, how do you guys respond?
Yeah, you go first, Frank.
I'll go Rune. I'll play Rune.
Okay, Rune and Mordor. All right, go ahead and respond, Elf Aim Assist.
I'm gonna go with an unconventional pick here. I'm gonna go goblins.
Goblins. Okay, this is very interesting. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay. Why don't we go ahead and get the final team? What are you gonna go for, Goblin Lives Matter?
I'll go Gundabad.
Okay, Gundabad is picked. Well, with that, teams, you guys have your factions. We have our maps. We are going to now send you all back down to your voice chats to take a couple minutes to pick your loadouts and everything. And then once you guys are ready, just go ahead and send me a DM, letting me know you guys are ready. So yeah, go ahead and head back down to your VCs and build your comps, and we'll get underway. Okay, interesting. Very interesting team comps we have before us. So I'm very surprised about goblins.
I think goblins. I think their whole strategy for elf emissaries is going to be numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to like maybe try and use Mordor's slightly better infantry in the center, and then try and just envelop using the huge number of goblins. And I think Gundabad, that's kind of what up against what the other team was originally saying. They were hoping for Harad, and that wasn't banned. So they must have some sort of idea on how to use that to counter. That's my guess.
Yeah, I think the one thing I'm worried about right away for Elf Aim Assist, is their anti-cav. I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure that Mordor and goblins really don't have that many. I mean, they do have wargs.
I mean, Mordor does have Servants of the Eye, which is some of the best cav. So I think
But
they
they're
might have to
incredibly
really lean
expensive.
into that. I think Mordor might have to bring enough cav for both of them. They might have to reduce their infantry and lack in other departments just to get enough to cover both their teammates or both team players.
Yeah, that's rough though.
I think
Well,
Rune and Gundabad. Sorry, I think they're both a very strong shock, which is going to be an issue as well.
yeah. I mean, obviously, a large part of this too comes down to who is capable of winning the range battle, and I'm pretty sure Gundabad has incredible range units. I'm not as up to date on their roster, but if I remember correctly, they have some really insane like tier 2 and tier 3 range units that have 200 range.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, like goblins and Mordor. I think they're just gonna have to go out like all infantry, maybe a bit of
Mhm.
Servants to the Eye, because their archers are they're going to lose straight away.
Yeah, and I mean, one person in chat, it's anonymous who's saying that wargs and orc fodder should be fine. Should it though? I mean, should it? I don't know. Because it feels like they're not gonna have the cav and they're not gonna have the range advantage. So where I'm a little worried. I mean, we'll see. Here's the thing, I want to say that I'm not overly worried about Elf Aim Assist's chances in the land battle because they will have the numbers advantage. But what I am worried about is them in a siege battle.
Yeah, I mean their main hope is going to be, I think, getting to the draw battle, just because numbers are their main thing.
Yep, I agree with both of you. Anonymous in the chat is saying exactly what I'm saying about the sieges. Yeah, they are. Yeah, and they're just gonna get shot to pieces by range units.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll see. We'll see. These are two players we have never really seen before, so we don't know what to expect. We can't count it out. I hope they come in and surprise us. They are essentially the underdogs in this situation. I think a lot of people are expecting Goblin Lives Matter to sweep it. to sweep this match?
I think as for Goblins and Mordor on defense, I think it would be tough for them. But I think what the main thing is, if they can just beat back the other team and just hold on, like they don't have to win on attack if they just can win on defense somehow.
Are you talking about for
Elf Aim Assist, when they,
Mhm.
I think inevitably they're going to have to defend on a siege battle, and I think if maybe they focus on some sort of sally out, just to maybe if they try and wear down the time, like through just like constant numbers, just beating them back, they can't get through to the VP,
Yeah.
and they run out of time.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that they can make this interesting, but we'll have to see. I'm a little worried for Elf Aim Assist here, and I really think that this land battle is going to set the tone for this tournament, because if they lose but it's a close battle, then that won't take the wind out of their sails. That'll make Goblin Lives Matter more paranoid, because they're more worried about mess ups. But if they get stomped by Goblin Lives Matter, then it's going to be rough, because Goblin Lives Matter are going to go into the next match with a lot of confidence, which is, I think, what you need to have in a siege battle. Is you need to have this mixture of confidence combined with the patience of slowly cracking open the nut shell that is the defenders' walls and their range units. So we'll see. Do you have, Leo, a faction or a team? If you had to put your money on a team, who are you putting your money on?
I think faction-wise, I do prefer Goblin Lives Matter, because I personally do really like Gundabad and Rune. They're both very nice factions. But I do see why Goblins and Mordor could have been picked. There is a certain playstyle that could work. So I'd overall go for Goblins.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a lot of Goblins love in the chat, which I appreciate. I think, Elf Aim Assist love in the chat. It's confusing now, because Goblin Lives Matter is
Yeah.
the team that doesn't have goblins. I might just shorten their name to Lives or something like that. Lives Matter. Just remove the goblin part so it isn't confusing. But people, so I think I'm seeing support for Elf Aim Assist, but money being put on Lives Matter, which I think I'll have to agree with that. Just off of if I'm just going off the factions that I'm looking at, I think that unless conventionally speaking, Elf Aim Assist is fighting an uphill battle.
Yeah. Certainly.
So let me check in here on our teams and see where they're at in their preparation phase.
I think at least one player is still creating armies, from what I can see. Jack Boy.
Okay. We putting money down? I don't know about putting literal money down, but my figurative, metaphorical money is being put down. I got $5. Take it or leave it. Yeah, I'm a broke college student, guys. I cannot afford. Oh gosh. All right, we already have gambling happening in the chat. I'll send you my Venmo. Man, people are getting serious with this. What if double or nothing? Double or nothing, guys. Double or nothing. Okay, how about this? Let's make this a bit more interesting. Who thinks here, whether it be us right now or those in the chat, who thinks here that who will be the winner of the land battle, regardless of what happens after the land battle? Whose money is on the winner of the land battle?
I mean, I'd like to see what Elf Aim Assist does. Am I getting this correctly? Yeah. Because I think they have the best land factions, or at least if you had to choose between land and siege, their factions are more inclined to land. So it depends on both their strategies there.
Yeah. So that is a good question. Anonymous, sorry to cut you off, but Anonymous asked, "What is the map?"
It's fine.
And you said Los Arnak, right?
Yes. You might be able
So
to
we
go
have a
onto the
very,
game screen.
I think, a very
No.
big open map.
We might be able to go on the game screen. It might show it. Trace it a little bit. It's a
Yeah,
large map
yeah,
with a
it's
few
it's
different hills.
it's a large map with a few different hills. I think Elf Aim Assist, they've done their homework. Yeah, with the settlement in the middle. So it's a very open map. There is the one interesting thing about this map is there is actually, when both factions spawn, you can't really see each other unless you have certain units that can see really far, or like Vanguard deploy units. Meaning that there is this little bit in the beginning where people can sometimes, there's a little bit of trickery that can go on between the teams because people can't see each other right off the bat. So but other than that, I mean, it's going to be pretty straightforward, and I think it being such an open map will obviously benefit whoever has a lot of cav. A lot of cav. So there shouldn't be too much of a terrain effect on this map. It's going to be very much so just kind of straight units. Is the land flat? Yeah, the land is pretty flat. There's a couple rolling hills around the side, and then there's a little settlement in the middle.
I mean, that being said, it's not going to work for Mordor and Goblins, I don't believe. But if Goblins Live Matters, if they started to lose, they might be able to try and fall closer, sort of, to around the settlement, so they can try and use the buildings as a bit of cover and not to be outflanked as much, if it was necessary, because then they could use their quality of their units more if they got desperate.
Yep. Here's the thing. I'm giving this to Elf Aim Assist. I see we got one person for Elf Aim Assist, one person for Goblin Lives Matter. I'm gonna stick with the underdogs. I'm sticking with them to the end. So I'm gonna say chat. I'm saying Elf Aim Assist is who I'm gonna say I think will win the land battle. Leo, do you have an opinion?
On the land is difficult. We haven't actually seen Elf Aim Assist play on the land yet, so you don't know what they're going to be like. I'd like them to win because it'll make it interesting and put Jack Boy on his running back. But
Also, I will say this real quick. There was season 2. There was a team that brought goblins in something. I don't remember what the other thing was. They brought goblins in something, and they actually beat Goblin Lives Matter, or just simply, if we want to call them Lives Matter. They brought goblins and they beat Lives Matter on a land battle, and it shocked everyone. Knowing Jack, he's gonna throw. Okay,
I think that was last year's champions that did that.
Was it the French?
I believe it was in the finals.
I don't think it was. I don't remember it correctly, but I'm gonna make sure. I'm gonna tell our teams they need to hurry up.
Jack Boy is ready. He was just saying, even though he's still changing his army. No, he's just completely changed his army now. What is he doing?
No spoilers. No spoilers.
Yeah. Yeah, almost. I believe it was the French who were playing goblins, so this could be a new French team.
Yeah,
steal it from
French
Jack Boy.
Let's see.
I'll quickly try and find it.
I'm gonna tell everyone they have 2 minutes. Okay, perfect. Elf Aim Assist is ready, so I'm gonna tell. Oh, perfect. Everyone's ready. We are getting into the match.
Or last year's teams. Gonna annoy me now. Aren't they?
It was Manus factions in the final. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure Goblins didn't manage to get all the way to the end. It was a team that got knocked out, but they did indeed win the land battle, and it shocked everyone because we didn't think Goblins had it in them, but they did.
That's season 1.
The commentator screen is a bit
Season
off.
2.
Oh no. We'll have to fix that.
Wasn't. Let's have a quick
Oh,
look at
so it is. Here, let me ignore the absolute
Oh yeah.
flashing screen as I tab out. But I've fixed the commentator screen.
That's something. Okay, we are in. So I'm gonna have to quickly do something to make mine run.
Okay. Leo, are you in?
Yep.
All right, go ahead and why don't you go over Goblin Lives Matters team? Give us a quick rundown of them.
Okay, just quickly making it so it runs better. There we go. So is this Goblin Lives Matter is or the red team?
Yes, Goblin Lives Matters,
Yes.
the red team.
Oh wow, yeah. So as expected, I think we see Gundabad. A lot of there's at least 3 tier 4 wargs, including the general. On top of another tier 4 gen. Just a lot of heavy cav. A few light cav by Jackaboy. With the runes. There's a lot of tier 1s on the front line. A lot of tier 1 shock. A lot of tier 2 shock. Not much else. Some archers. Tier 2s. 175 range. Not the best. I don't believe there's any. I think Warxall playing as Gundabad has not put any money in towards archers. They're just relying on Jackaboy.
Really?
However, Jackaboy's archers, I believe, have guerrilla deployment. So that might mess up Elfhaim's plan. They might not be able to archer fight as easily. But that's most of what they brought is just shock, cav, some spears on the flanks, 2 javelins, and 1 player's worth of archers. Relatively simple comp.
Okay, yeah. And how much cav are we looking at? 2. Just yeah,
3
those 2.
tier, 4 tier 4 and 2 tier 1 in
Okay.
total, including gens.
Yeah. All right, and then heading over to look at. Also, one thing I want to point out that I think is very interesting: Goblin Lives Matter actually has less units on the field.
Elfhaim
So-
assist.
Sorry, yes,
mean-
oh my gosh, the Elfhaim
but
Assist
the
has
people-
less units on the field.
The people playing as the goblins have less, which is interesting. I have to just say in general, it's a very interesting setup by both armies. They're not actually going to meet each other sort of straight on.
Mm-hmm. They're both.
Just looking at
This
it.
is what I mean with like the funkiness going because they can't see each other. So there's gonna be some weird like moving and diverging like in the middle that will happen. Yeah, and I mean just looking across the field, I can tell just a bunch of shock units coming in from Goblin Lives Matter.
Would you like to cover Elfhaim assist?
Yeah. So. Okay. Elfhaim Assist. What are we looking at with these guys? We got not nearly as like basically no shock. There's quite literally one. They just kind of threw a shock unit in there. They have 1 warg for anti-cav, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 range units. That's it. 5 range units, versus a 4. Oh, actually, wait, do they have more range units?
Yeah. They do
Wow,
have
they
more.
have. And then
That's
yeah,
interesting.
wow, okay. Wow. Not nearly as many range units. Where did they spend their money? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. So they
There's two
have
servants
like
of the eye.
I mean they spent their money on that, and they spent their money on trolls. They
Yeah.
do have an Oleg High, which like can do some serious damage, and it is better for them with the Oleg High right now since there are way fewer archers on the field than we normally see. Normally we would see both teams bringing or both players bringing their maximum number of archers, but since there are only 4 archers, the Oleg High will have a better time surviving. So they definitely seem to have spent their money on the Oleg High, the like you said, the Nazgul. They have 3 rabble. They have a little bit of anti-cav, so they have some rabble spears. They have like some tier 2 bows. Yeah, I mean, Mordor's basically whole army was spent on 2 tier 3 archers, Olag High. Oh, they also have really heavy melee infantry. This is a very interesting army comp.
Yeah.
I definitely think I could tell Mordor brought the 3 orc rabbles probably because they thought that they'd be facing a lot of cav, which to be fair in a way they are. Yeah, Oleg High. So yeah, the Oleg High, if that's 5k, that explains where a lot of that money went.
I think they really have to play this smart then. If that much is riding on, even if they just use both of, even if they just use sort of cave trolls first, try and get ammo absorbed into them, and then granted the other team still does have shock, but trolls they're going to be very powerful when there's no archers.
Yes. Now, one thing I will say that is, I think, a massive benefit to Lives Matter is they have 2 javelin units, and the other team doesn't have any Javi units. So they do have that, and those Javi units could tear into the Oleg High, they could tear into the Servants of the Eye, they could tear into these tier 3 and tier 4 melee infantry. I'm trying to see who has the better melee front.
I do think shock does have this. If Jack Boy and Warwick sort of smart enough that they maybe try and cycle charge some of it as well, because they have so much shock against a much smaller front line, even as Goblins and Mordor. I think they can at least cycle out a few units and keep getting that charge bonus off.
What is our shock limit? Have they broken the shock limit? Can you check the rules? They have a shit ton of shock. Was it 6?
That's true. Let me have a look. Six shock, 1 pipe
Okay,
pole
okay.
arm, 4 ranged, 1 skirmisher.
1 skirmisher. 1 from the Easterlings. Okay,
No.
nope, they're following the rules. They're following it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think where Mordor, where Aim Assist has the advantage here. I'm trying to figure out where Aim Assist has the advantage against Lives Matter. And I don't know, because again, they all essentially all they have to do, Lives Matter that is, all they have to do is run their shock in. I get that they have quite a few like really crappy tier 1 shock, but I feel like those tier 1 shock on a full charge are still going to devour a lot of units. So it's like they have this massive front line too they can completely envelop, and that's one of those areas that we assumed that Aim Assist was going to have the advantage on, but actually they're outnumbered. But I mean, it's about like 200 units.
Yeah. However, I think the Goblin Warband have added a lot to that, because they have there's what 1200. No, like 1500 on elf aim assist just for the man count. 1500 of that is just warband for spears. Whereas the other team is similar, but they have slightly better quality.
Yeah, it is interesting that the Goblin team is actually kind of going for the quality over quantity route.
Yeah, I think if it was any other faction apart from goblins that brought a slightly heavier infantry spam, I think it might work. But because it's goblin infantry, even tier 3s are still quite bad.
Yeah.
So against a tier 1 shock, I'm not sure how well it's going to do.
I think the army comp they're bringing right now would be better if there was like 2k lesson funds maybe, because if I'm, and chat, correct me if I'm wrong here, I'm pretty sure I feel like the goblins get better the lower the funds you have, because they, like, their numbers advantage become more, like, have a greater effect. But as you increase the funds, the goblins get worse. Correct me if I'm wrong there. Honestly, if they want to go with monstrous units, they should have picked Harad instead of goblins.
Not a bad option.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Hey, I'm sticking to him. I'm sticking to him. I'm rooting for him. We got some Nazgul on the flank, squaring off against these clan riders, but I'm pretty sure these clan riders are going to absolutely outrun these Nazgul. These Nazgul are never catching these clan raiders unless they let them catch them, or if they get caught up. Yeah, but
he
go
just
ahead,
wants
Leo.
to. Sorry, he just wants to take away the Nazgul, and
Mhm.
if he can just get javelins off, that's just some free health damage onto the surface of the eye.
And this is one thing we see Jackaboy and Wallaxel do constantly with each other, is they what they do is they group up low tier cav with low tier spears. And what you essentially have is, when you do this, is you have a very cheap yet effective offensive front where you walk them up together and they can counter another cav unit. Like, if this Nazgul faces off against this group of 4 units, which I bet you this group of 4 units costs less than this Nazgul, they'll actually beat the Nazgul. Or at the very least, the Nazgul will be so dead they're basically gone. Like, I don't know how much these units cost, but if these guys cost, I don't know the money amount, but I mean, we have
I think
very
roughly
cheap
about
units.
1500 for all 4.
Yeah, versus, like, I mean, what is a Nazgul? Like 1500 per unit. So it's like a very cost-effective way to counter cav. Now, the downside to it is very micro-intensive to do this. One, you have 2 players per, like, group of units, so they have to kind of work in unison at the same time and move them up together. And it does also limit the mobile factor of the cavalry, because they have to rely on having the spears close enough to them that they can actually support them. But it is still effective for taking and kind of holding ground and keep moving them up. We see the envelopment beginning. What are these Olag Hai doing?
They're trying
What are
to
the
just zone out. They're just sending them in to.
What? Huh? What?
I guess maybe absorbing ammo.
What? That's. I mean, if I'm Lives Matter, I'm like, thank you for throwing away your entire game. Yeah. Please run your trolls into the one type of unit that they're weak against.
They got an okay charge into the skirmishers. The cave trolls.
Yeah, I mean, but your Olag Hai have already lost 2 units.
That is. Yeah. I guess
No,
maybe they're trying to engage the archers, I think, whilst they're trying to fight off the trolls.
Interesting. So what they're doing here is they seem to be, Lives Matter, one, they're getting enveloped on their flank, but Lives Matter seems to be enveloping on the flanks, and what I don't get is why elves are using their archers against the shock units. They should be shooting the other range units. They have the range advantage. They need to use their range advantage to take out the other range units. Keep their trolls in the back until they've won the range battle, and then bring the trolls in when they no longer have a
Yeah.
threat because all the other range units are gone. But instead, their Olag High, which again is
100%.
apparently 5k, is gone. So like, great.
We are seeing the Goblin infantry actually doing very well in the center.
This is true, actually. And I mean, that is in part because the arrows win into these units. I think that is part of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they are very decisively winning us. At least the tier 4
No,
is
actually, when I
decisively
look at
winning.
it, yeah, no, actually, I'm looking at their kills, and they do have a lot of kills. They are completely getting enveloped, and all of their range units are about to get devoured by these wargs. They are trying to pull off these spears. They should send this shock into this shock so they can actually have their spears protect their range units.
Cavs around the back. We have also got Nazgul on the far left engaged. Engaging Clan Riders. Spears are
Okay.
not there to back, not charging in yet.
Okay, that is good. So they managed to get rid of one clan rider, but again, I don't think this is a worthwhile use of your Nazgul. They're about to get hit by spears.
They're just keeping them busy. They need to pull them off and hit all the back of the archers and start surrounding.
Yeah, or go into the. I wouldn't even worry about the archers at this point. I would be worried about running into the back of their shock units. That's what I would use them against. I would use them against shock units.
Just trying to envelop the rest of the army, or even protect against the back. The whole right flank is being enveloped by a cav. Well,
wow. I mean, let's look at the.
They have
the
servants of
troop
the eye.
count. They do have servants of the eye, which are beating those cav units. They have about half the units of Goblin Lives Matter. Goblin's Lives Matter has about double what Elf Amos currently has on the battlefield.
Happened very suddenly. It was just this right flank for them was their main. They didn't have. They should have put. I don't know what they could have done, but they should have tried countering the cav more on the right. They had 4 tier 4 wargs, and they had 1 tier 2 warg to fight it.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably one of the fastest victories I have witnessed in our tournament's history. I can't this took basically 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow, I mean, they melted through their army.
I mean, as we can see, it's only the person on the left that's left, Mordor.
Yeah.
Goblins they were completely surrounded. They didn't have enough control over their flank, so they got collapsed.
No, not at all.
Surrounded. However, servants of the eye are still holding out. Just
no, servants of the eye are going to carry this whole match. Ignore the spears that are running
the
into
spears are
their
going
backs.
in now, unfortunately. And tier 4 cav.
Brutal.
I mean, judging by that,
Hmm?
it's interesting. You're going to have to see. I think they might have a better chance than we thought in the siege. I know Goblins Life Matter will still bring better infantry, but their infantry did hold up somewhat. It was the main factor was that they got outplayed around the flanks.
Yeah, close game, guys.
Focus on
Close game.
Yeah, but if you focus on just the head-to-head combat, I think when it comes to a siege battle, they might have a better chance.
Gotcha.
Surprisingly.
Wow, and looking at these units, I mean, that shock did really well. Those swords did really well. The trolls did better than I expected, considering how long they stay alive. The archers did next to nothing, which you really needed your archers to do better.
Servants of the Eye, the swords from Mordor. I think they put too much money in their archers. At least Mordor did. And I think they should have skirmished a bit more. They had the archer upper hand, I think.
Mm-hmm.
If I believe, they at least have higher armor. than what Rune had.
Spammed low tier shock too. Low tier and mid tier shock just spammed and cut through them well. Well, with that, our teams need to set up for the next match. We will be right back once we're done with setting them up. One.
Hello, welcome back. We are going to get onto the final, well, not the final, but the siege battle next in 5 or so minutes, depending on when the teams are ready. But before, I thought we'd maybe talk about a few comments and what actually happened in the land battle that's just went on and what went wrong for Elf Aim Assist and what Goblins Live Matter did right. Sorry, Dante, the screen's wrong again.
Yeah, I fixed it.
Okay, perfect. Like, I think for a start, I think Goblin Lives Matter just played that really well. They completely enveloped the other team. They used their cav and just sort of took away the Nazgul. That was the main advantage for elves. Is there anything you'd think about, Dante?
I would. Hang on one second. Teams are asking me questions, so let me answer the teams and then I'll get back to you.
Okay. Nominus and Epitome, is there anything you want to say? Yeah, like or not. I agree with Nomus. I think faction picks, army comp, and tactics. That went. It was. I think it shows how much of a like both veterans they are. They have played on the stage for a long time, both of them, and have a lot of hours in it. Whereas the other team, I think they have played it a lot, but maybe not as much in the like normal multiplayer community. They might not know the traditional ways to use everything, or there's probably something that's happened to them.
Uh, yeah. So I think my thoughts on that was I actually didn't hate Aim Assist's army comp. I thought it was interesting, but I didn't fully hate it. Like I think it was work withable. I think they could have worked with it. One they had the range advantage, and they had the quality advantage. So their army comp was very much so based around uh, getting the right units in the right spots at the right time. So what they needed to do, in my opinion, was they needed to have their archers win the archer battle, which wouldn't have been that hard because they had pretty high tier archers. They had tier 3 archers, and they also had an extra archer unit. So they should have won the archer battle, and then from there gone on and once the enemy archers were dead, they could have deployed the Olag High, or not even necessarily dead, but just once they killed a couple of the enemy archers, or at least had them busy shooting them, they could have then sent in the trolls in the Olag High, where they were most needed, to break more elite units or whatnot. But they needed to wait for their archers to clean up the enemy archers first. So that was the first thing. The other thing is they needed to have the servants of the eye acting way more as a unit to either try and go after enemy archers, or I would have preferred them hit other units, other shock units in the back. So I agree it was a good idea for them to send their servants of the eye away from all the enemy wargs, right? But once they were away from all the enemy orgs, they shouldn't have kept trying to be in this back and forth engagement against those low tier cab units next to those spears. They should have just run away from those low tier cab units and spears and gone and charged a unit in the back, because at that point the cav can chase them down, but that's fine because they're low tier cav. They can just turn around and kill. If they just run away from those guys towards like the middle of the enemy army, the spears are essentially all the way out of position, and they have to run all the way back over to chase them. So I think the trolls were just essentially killed off in the beginning, because you have to save your trolls in your Olag High for when the enemy archers are either no longer around or occupied elsewhere. And your servants of the eye need to be taking out high valued targets, not low value targets, because they're so expensive for a reason, and it's because they can melt just about any other unit that isn't a spear unit. So I think they actually had some pretty valuable units that really could have melted through some front lines, but they did not devote them to the right areas on the battlefield.
Yeah, completely agree. Yeah, like, I think as Anonymous has said, I think what you have said is an option. I think there's two ways they could have played it. I think Elfhame says could have played more defensive with the Cav, or they could have been aggressive. I think both would have worked, but I think they shouldn't have targeted low value in the end.
Yeah.
Like, I think whether it's countering the tier 4 wargs and using their light spears that they had brought, like, what was it, about 6 of? But they didn't really use them, I don't think, correctly to counter them. They just all used it to plug gaps against other infantry. As well as, there's another thing that Anonymous said, like, Checkerboy and Waxel, they both use low tier spams. These are much more forgiving when you make mistakes. If you lose a 300 cost shock unit or have a lot much, it's much less, or it's much more forgiving than losing a 1500 Nazgul or a high tier infantry. So they could maybe sacrifice a unit to archers or a unit to cav and still make the plays they wanted to.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with both those things. And when I said the thing that not Anonymous is disagreeing with about the shock, or excuse me, the cav going wide, I'm saying if they were going to have those cav go wide and have them like go around the flank like they did, if they were going to have the servants of the eye do that, then I would have wanted them to not engage those low tier cav and low tier spears, is what I was saying. Playing close to their front lines and using them more defensively is generally how I would use them. But I'm saying if they're going to send them on the flank, then don't bother engaging a low tier cav and low tier spears that are quite literally set up to counter you.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I think that those are great points you guys are making about the unforgivingness of losing higher tier units. I also think that something you said earlier, Leo, about the Mordor bringing such high tier bow units, what not being a good idea. I haven't looked at their unit roster, but I wonder how many extra units they could have brought if they had, instead of doing 3 or however many it was, like 3 tier 3 bow units, if they instead did tier 2 bow units. I wonder how much money that could have freed up for them.
Just the match is starting now. By the way,
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's tapped out.
No, I see it. We will
Okay.
get underway.
Just loading into the first siege battle of the matchup. But yeah, like it was. I think it was 2 tier 3 archers from Mordor, and they probably cost 700, maybe 800 each. If you could bring
That's
2 more low tier, like 2 or 3 low tier swords, or 3 or 4 low tier archers, they could have just spread out that money much more than what they did.
Yeah. So, you know, mistakes were clearly made, but you live and learn, and I really genuinely hope to see them turn it around here on this battle map. And I do think this is a very interesting map to watch. It's a big map, and there's a lot to keep in mind. One thing right off the top of my head, looking at this map, I'm going to be very curious whether or not Lives Matter choose to split up their army and like envelop from all sides, or whether they group them together.
Yeah. I think the general sort of thing with the barbarian walls, rather than my proper normal settlement walls, I think this could be inclined to help out the defenders more, because they normally have a larger unit size. So where, for example, we have Runic Warlords 120 men, which are what, tier 4?
Yeah.
Goblin tier 4 probably has slightly more, because it's goblins. But what it means is when they put siege towers on these walls, if they do, I guess so, it means that they can much more easily surround units when they land. And if they fight for the walls, I think it'll work quite well. And generally, the streets are a little bigger, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
They at least feel it. So hopefully, that might be inclined to help out the defenders more.
Okay, looking at the army comps we have before us. We have 1, 2. They're still kind of like all over the place, but
Yeah.
here, what's chat
Let's
saying?
do attackers first.
Okay. One person, anonymous in chat, is saying, I hope Mordor Gobos bring their cheapest archers and numbers. They will never win archers and numbers. They will never win archer battle, so might as well try and use their archers as sponges. Yeah, that's a fair point. I definitely think that's one of kind of the advantages to having such crappy low tier, like tier 1 and tier 2 archer units as the Forces of Evil. I've definitely done that and done it effectively. All right, Leo, why don't you go ahead and go over the attacking army?
Just quickly to point out for Anonymous, the goblins have brought at least 3 tier 3 archers.
So they did the polar
By
opposite.
looking around, which is I mean, they might end up trying to do well with them. But yeah, on attack. So you have Jackboy with Rune, with his skirmisher and the 4 archers again, same as the land. Tier 2's got Gorilla Deploy. And he's done very similar to the land, but with more. He's got 6 tier 3 shock, including some tier 4 runic warlords, so very powerful shock. And a tier 3 halberd. From just generally looking at this army, I think it's similar to what we saw in their last match. Like what we've covered so far. And then he's got another tier 4 gen, very powerful. What's this? That's Gundabad. And he's got another 4 Cardish sentries, tier 2 infantry with javelins. I think that is one thing we've seen across at least Jackboy for certain, is he does like using javelins, whether it's cav or infantry. That might be quite good. Another axeman and a spear. Not a lot of anti-cav. I know he has got javelins. And then with War Axle, they got another javelin. Only 5 shock, I believe, from what I can see. They has 3 tier 4 shock and 2 tier 1s, along with 4 tier 4 archers. That is going to be a struggle to go up against. That is what we've been talking about when you see Gundabad archers, 200 range, and some very formidable stats there.
Yeah, I mean, they're decent in combat. They're gonna take a lot of again, like, to the point, the defenders are not winning the range advantage here.
They're just good infantry once you run out of ammo. Even if you lose the archer battle, you still have some tanky troops there. And then the rest of the army is mostly just tier 2 axemen. Just some sort of cannon fodder. Hopefully absorb some ammo. Oh, and tier 4 warg gen. That's pretty much most of the attacking armies.
Alright, if we look over here at the defenders, they have, like we said before, they have tier 3 goblin archers. Now, who has more range? 1, 2, okay, 4. 1, 2, 3. So 7 range units for the defenders. The attackers are bringing 4. Okay, so not only do the attackers have better range units, they also have an extra range unit. Yeah, so they just are out. The defenders are outclassed in the range battle in every way, shape, and form.
There's a tier 2 goblin archer at the top.
Oh, okay.
They have got 4 each.
Okay, good. So they're at least even on the numbers. They have more shock. They have quite a bit of a shock investment, which I like and don't like. It's weird that they're going shock now, because one of your best assets as a defender in a siege, especially when the timer is set to 40 minutes, is units that hold for a long time. And shock are great, but they burn quickly. They burn bright and they burn fast. So even if you use the shock effectively, they're going to die off pretty quickly, which means you can't hold things like choke points and whatnot. And as we've established, you're weaker on the range front, meaning your shock are going to be more vulnerable. So there's that problem. The defenders have any cav? They don't have any cav. Do they have the max number of pikes? That's the other thing. Goblins, I don't think they have like terrible pike units. So they have 1 pike unit there from the goblins. Okay, they do have their maximum number of pikes, and
they've even bought a pike
guard.
gen.
Oh yeah, they have. Smart, sneaky. This is actually, I like this. This is the one really good thing here I can praise. I do think off the top of my head maybe there was a better gen, but I think it's smart to, you know, allow yourself to bring an extra pikeman unit by having it as your general, because your general doesn't count towards your unit limit. Now, once again, vulnerable to range units, so it might be actually their downfall. We'll see.
I think having 2 guards of the teeth, that is going to be very powerful. Plus,
Yeah.
if they save them until the end, like you can send up the goblin one first, make that absorb hopefully the rest of the ammo. Worst comes to worst, you can send up the non-gen guards of the teeth. That absorbs even more ammo. I don't think they're going to have enough to take out all 3.
Yeah.
There's going to be somewhere which they fail. I don't like. In the end, the VP comes down to 3 points. One of them, I think, is always going to be guarded by a polearm. The other 2, they're going to have to try and exploit with archers, taking out the polearms, and whatever else the attackers have.
Yeah. Now, one thing I'm really worried about here is they've kind of set their archers out. Ideally, since they have this big open settlement with all these different pathways that's really large, they set up some sort of a rolling defense where they kind of just skirmish with their archers, and then they slowly start pulling back and back. Hopefully they do that, and when the enemies get too close, hopefully they retreat in time. I'm really worried that like they're going to take too long holding the outer walls, and units will get caught out and left behind. I'm really hoping not to see that happen.
Yeah. I mean, I am sort of seeing a slightly... Depends if they actually stick with maybe what they're doing, but on the far left, they have this spear, which is... It will be cut off if they land troops. So what it might be interesting is to see, they might pull it back and try and hold the tower, or even further back, and then use javelins up here and different missiles. And he just sort of keeps this constant thought in the back of the attacker's mind, is what if that spear comes out and it just does something, maybe they can't leave cav over there now, or they can't put archers there. It just sort of, some sort of thorn in the side of the attackers.
That's a very clever idea, and I would love to see that be their actual plan. I have a feeling it's not, but I would genuinely think it would be so awesome if that was their plan.
I mean, I think a tier 1 Goblin Warband, though, it could just be taken out of archers, unfortunately. If they had like a Citadel guard just sat in this corner,
yeah,
they'd have to engage it. But yeah, it might be a way just to cover their retreat, so they can set archers out to shoot for longer.
This is also interesting. They're immediately trying to use fire arrows and burn down these medium siege towers. I've actually never really attempted this because I've always assumed it was a waste of ammunition.
It's not doing too bad, but I mean, if you're planning to hold the walls, we can see if they are. They might just try and full send it because they have a lot of stuff nearby. But like, if you take out all the medium towers and just have to fight the heavy ones, they haven't got too many heavy ones. They've actually left a few of them back. I guess they might not been expecting this. This
tower right here, this is elite light siege tower, so it's very smart they're targeting this one. If they are going to try and go for the strategy, they're actually going to take the siege tower out and possibly kill quite a few of these tier 2 axe warriors. It's actually cool. It's taking fire damage, so they better stop shooting it with fire arrows. Now it's time to either switch targets or stop wasting your arrows.
Yeah.
It's taking damage, guys. It's taking damage. Shooting it doesn't do anything now. Quick switch targets, please. They are going to have... This is what I'm worried about, though. If you see on the right flank, I really hope they're keeping their eyes on these siege towers so that their archers don't get caught out.
I mean, I think this could be a very interesting strategy, but I don't know if they're actually going to play it.
Oh my gosh, they actually took out... Wait, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hold that thought. They took out another one of the medium siege towers. That's insane that they managed to do that. I did not think they were going to get that in time, but the fact that they got that in time actually saved them a lot of time. They're taking out 3 siege towers right now. That's actually insane that they're doing that. I did not think they would be that effective. Sorry, say whatever your thought was, but that's actually very impressive.
It's also all the watchtowers are helping a lot, but they have used a lot of ammo.
They have used a lot of ammo. Now, hopefully what
They're
they
taking out a
do
fourth.
is... Are they
They can get
actually
the fourth.
where? Oh my gosh.
Gatehouse.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that's insanely good for them.
What they need to do, attackers that haven't bought an artillery piece, they just need to try and hold the walls.
Yeah, and now ideally what they do, it looks like they have actually used one of their ammo barrels. They are indeed, this is so smart. Let's
is true.
go. Elf aim assist, they are dumping their
Ammo
ammo,
barrels.
and then they are going to these ammo barrels, and normally what happens is the defenders give up the walls and immediately lose their ammo barrels. They're now essentially actually getting the use out of their ammo barrels. This has saved them a bunch of time. This has clearly thrown the attackers off their game. Like, they're clearly did not expect this to happen. And they're still going for it. I don't know. Their units are just kind of standing here.
I mean, I really think they should hold all the walls. Because now,
Oh,
they're going back to get more towers.
I don't know, though. I don't
Like,
know. Look, this.
I don't
Oh,
think
no.
the defenders, you're going to have to absorb some ammo from the archers. But if you can just make it so you have maybe 4 or 5 entry points onto the walls, you have enough
archer
men
unit's
to
just
deal with
dead.
that.
Yeah, but this archer unit's just
Yeah, I see
dead.
that.
This archer unit's just gone.
Yeah.
Oh, don't stop bringing your archers over. Like, literally back
Oh,
up.
no.
Literally back up, guys. This is lost. This is what I mean. They can't really hold
Like-
right here. They did a great job right here. This is great. This is great. I would not even try and bring my archers over here. I would just keep shooting these siege towers.
Yeah.
Sorry, say what
They're
you're
kind,
say
they're
what you're
kind
gonna
of doing
say.
like 50-50 right now. They're holding, I think they're going to try and hold like a line here. They didn't want towers to be pushed up along this side,
Mm-hmm.
which is always, because it means you can maybe keep up to 2 more barrels for ammo, which is quite nice. But oh, those archers in the center. He's pulling them back. Why is he leaving them there? Oh my.
Oh my gosh, if they get this heavy siege tower, please get this heavy siege tower. Please get this heavy siege tower.
What was that?
I'm fully... It's at 97. Please, please, please,
They
please
have
burn it.
that.
Come on, come on. Yes, they got it. They got it. They're not going to get this
The
other one.
other
You need
one's
to...
at
It's at
58.
60. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. Run your archers away.
They
Run
might,
them
they,
away.
might be able to, they might be able to burn it so only that unit gets up.
Oh, that's true.
There are
Do they
towers nearby
have-
that will keep shooting it.
Okay, there's their
regardless.
battering rams. Now here's the, they are wasting so much of the attacker's time by doing this.
That 7 minutes in already.
Yeah.
They are wasting time using this. It's at 70%. It has landed though. I actually can't remember. Do towers keep shooting landed siege towers? We'll see. They do. So it might be a situation where this tower might be burnt after that one sword lands.
Yeah. Well, now, I mean, even if they don't get anything here, now hang on, are they gonna try and this is a tier 3 against a tier 2? Okay, so this is one of my problems here right now. You have just a tier 2 right now. There's excuse me, just a tier 3 heavy blades right now. There are no other units around fighting you. For the love of God, swarm and kill. Swarm and kill this
Yeah.
tier 3 right now. He has no one there to help him. There are no I mean, these archers are right there,
Bring
so
the
that
tier
is
4 up.
dangerous.
Just bring the tier 4 up.
I say this though, there are these archers here. I wonder if they're almost baiting with these archers. But even that, I don't. It's a tier 3. It's worth the
Yeah.
risk in my opinion. Like, kill this motherfucker.
I mean, if you set up a tier 4, it has high missile block. Look, it has 78, I know
True.
that's information, but it still has a very high amount, you can tell by the bar.
Yeah.
So you can still send that, and it's a guaranteed win in combat, whereas a tier 2 against a tier 3, it's not.
I will also say that this is still an even combat against a tier 2, so this is still not a terrible exchange for the defenders. Like, it's a tier 2 against a tier 3, and the tier 3 isn't exactly... It's probably going to eventually start winning, but it's not doing as well as it could be doing.
This is very interesting with these archers. They've definitely held on to this whole left flank. This is like the major point that people needed to break through. Because if you can break through here, you'll immediately put pressure on closer to the VP.
Yeah. So I 100% agree with you. This is the important corner to hold, which is why it's so impressive. They took out 3, basically 4. I wonder if you're right that it is worth it to shoot that siege tower to get rid of it completely. Because if they shoot that siege tower and get rid of it completely, literally this whole corner of the map, the attackers just can't send units up and they have to walk around. Even then,
mean,
this
having
corner of the map.
ones- Having
Go on.
one's not too bad though, because I don't think attackers would use it. It's
No,
a
you're right.
guaranteed
So
loss of a unit unless they put all their archers there, and then the rest of
Yeah.
the place is free. So you can send up poems to attack the other spots, and it just slows down the attackers.
now, oh my gosh, look over all the way on the far right flank. The defenders have sent a range unit to resupply at a barrel. Wow, they sent one that's basically out of ammo. They've sent him all the way over here to get more ammo. They are ammo maxing so well right now. Well done. You
Yeah.
guys are ammo maxing so well. You should keep it up. Honestly, this hurt unit, it has like half ammo. Send him over to this barrel over here. This is such an effective use of their barrels. Well done. Well done.
We can see how they are burning the watchtowers. Like they just need to put on the far left. You can keep this watchtower. Just put an archer here, shoot down a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
Killed a whole axeman. I know it's only a tier 2, but it's dead. And that's going to do a nice amount of tick damage towards the tier 3 that's landed on its own.
Yeah, I will say the tier 3 that's on its own, please have this axe unit right here cycle charge into him. I'm pretty sure they could kill him if they have
need
this
to help
axe
him.
unit. They because he is starting, they are losing now, but
They're
I'm pretty
also-
sure they could kill him.
They will
Oh.
another heavy siege tower moving up.
Did they bring that around the side?
They went all the way back. It was like back
That's
here.
insane.
They went back. and got it.
Wow.
And
I
look,
love that. That's,
please say they're shooting the axeman on the left.
I don't
Don't let
know
that
that it's
burn it.
worth.
No, look, it's just
Yeah.
instant burn.
Oh,
I think
that's
it would have been
devastating.
worth keeping.
Yeah. Okay, now this is where they need to really be careful about starting to get their units back and not overextending. They're using their shock pretty well here. They managed to send in both of their shock to obliterate this orc unit, this mountain orc reavers, and they don't have any archers to defend them, so this is a really good time for them to be using their shock. Now, they should be cycle charging their shock. They shouldn't just leave them in combat, which it looks like they are just leaving them in combat.
I mean, I think even if they want to commit to shock, have them so they cycle, not at the same time. You have
Exactly.
one go in
100%.
and swap out the other.
Yeah, so they need to get this spear and this archer unit out pronto. Also, basically, this whole part of the map right here is about to become a dead zone because you can see that the attackers are walking their archer units up to here. So basically, everything right here is a dead zone because the archers are going to be able to shoot any unit right here. So the defenders have kind of overstayed their welcome right here, and they kind of need to, like, I think, pull back and hold more here at this point.
I think they should have held it. I think that they need to hit the shock. They need to get
Mhm.
something into that, and they could put. I was thinking they could try and put archers on the walls, and then they could get some easy kills onto the low armor rune archers.
Yeah, maybe.
But they're trying to give it up, I think.
Yeah.
'Cause
Now,
they're not going for
let's
that heavy town.
see. I will say, I think overall, if we look at the map here from above, they're still holding a good portion of the map. And what is the... Now, it's important to note here, the defenders did start with about 100-ish more units, 150 more units, and they do have less units than the attacker. So I'm not
Yeah.
quite sure where all their units died from, because I thought they've been winning these exchanges here.
I think it's the archers for the most part.
Yeah, because they're not doing a good job keeping their archers alive right now. And also, again, this Gundabad Blade really could have been killed off. They're about to lose that archer unit. That archer unit's out of ammo, so it doesn't really matter. And then this archer unit they're also about to lose. So they need... I'm really glad they dumped their ammo in the beginning. They were doing a really effective job with ammo dumping and ammo maxing. But it doesn't matter... Your ammo maxing doesn't matter if your units get shot to hell. So... Yeah.
I mean, I guess I think if they had bought cheaper archers, this strategy would have worked really well. Because you could maximize your ammo, delay the enemy for like 5-10 minutes. You can see it's already almost 15 minutes in.
Yeah.
Like you could delay them for 10 minutes for at the cost of 4 cheap archers. And then you could archer fight and waste half the attacker's ammo. That's a really cost-worthy use of that archer.
And I will say, like, right here, the defenders are winning. Now they are about to get side charged by those spears.
Yeah.
Now they're losing decisively. That sucks. Wow, that's shocking how that balance power swapped. They're winning right there.
They need,
Oof.
they need
Okay.
to try and bring that javelin up.
Go on.
You might be able to get a side hit from there. I'm not sure on the range of javelins.
That's not
Or-
that. It's range 70. The range is 70.
Or even just bring any archers you have left over. Like that's amazing shots there. Like there's a tier 4 light shock infantry. Just take that out.
So right now, okay, what are they doing against these guys? This is a tier 4 that's about to get pushed. Yikes! This middle lane here is about to get devastated.
That's a pole 1 plus javelins. You can't-
Yeah,
They need
I
to set
mean,
more
I
up.
would.
There's
Yeah,
a massive hole in the
it's
center.
yeah. Unless they're trying to bait them into this hole, I'm not quite sure what's going on here. But they need to very quickly plug the hole or cut your losses and back up.
This would be, if I'm correct, can defenders have artillery or not? I
No,
don't
they
believe so.
can't. No.
Okay, never mind.
But they put it for this exact reason. Put the artillery on the
Yeah.
hill, shoot into the blob. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I would be
This
using
is-
basically all of my range units to probably shoot these pikemen. Because those pikes are going to be so annoying to push, to like fight against. I'd either shoot the pikes or shoot the shock, one of the two.
I don't know the range on these I can't see the range on these archers. Like I would, if they're out of range, I'd try and set up a pole arm around here, on the right side
Mhm.
of that center.
Yeah. No, that's a good idea. You can hold all of right there. And the one good thing here is for the attackers, it's kind of hard. It gets a little buggy as an attacker to like set archers up in this area. So I definitely think and like they're constantly obstructed and all this stuff. It's not like impossible or anything. It's just much slower going as the attackers. They're bringing in the cav now. This unit is about to get around the flank here. 57 with those. Yeah. It was a very cool early defense, but it does feel like
They're going
the
cav through.
defend. They're
Oh, no.
that's
They just got cav through.
that's brutal. I mean, at least those archers are basically out of
Yeah.
ammo, so it doesn't really
like,
matter.
Oh, all their archers are gonna get caught out now, on the far
Yeah.
right. I think defenders just need to cut their losses, and just start falling back even more. Just play the time game.
Now, this tier 3 shock, and also, like, for example, there's little things where the attackers are winning in many ways. There's a tier 3 shock here that absolutely got a free charge into a Black Shield Bodyguard, which is tier 4, and did 113 kills. And the Black Shield Bodyguard only killed 43 of them. So while, yes, this tier 3 shock is dead, it's dead because of archers, meaning it basically killed an entire tier 4 unit and absorbed enemy units. So that's a really good trade for Lives Matter. And, like, why are you throwing spears away? You're delaying with these spears, but this doesn't feel like a very effective way to delay with your spears. So.
I think they can still do it if they try. But what I was originally going to say was, I think the next spot they can hold is, like, start falling back to the 2 ramps, and then hold diagonally across here.
Yeah.
You can sort of see, like, there's not many archer weaknesses, and if they break through on the far right, they have a really long walk to get to the back, and then by then you can get something there to cover it.
And here's the other thing: the defenders keep throwing units in to clot the bleeding. But if we notice here, the defenders are being very reserved with their archers, and I think that's intentional. I don't actually think it's because they don't have a good target. I think they're like, well, no, we're winning these battles right now. We don't need to use our archers. We keep getting around the flanks. We keep getting around.
Yeah.
They're not successfully stopping us. So we're just going to save our archers for when they're holding up here on the top of this hill, and then we'll just use our archers to decimate any unit that's holding. Like, why are you running up this archer unit? No, why is this archer unit here? Yeah, there's a lot of things like that that are just such a shame to see happen.
I think that they're committing so much to the center. They either have to go all in now, trying to defend this lot, but they're still letting caps get through. they're having too much in reserve. Like they're just pulling. I think it's the Goblin player. They're just pulling up their reserves now,
I mean, yeah, and
and
then
you can see they just let Cav
tier
through
two,
again.
tier two shock getting obliterated by a ward general. Ugh. I mean, they said, nah, we're not even gonna hold the final choke point. We're just gonna run down into
In
the
this
valley of
situation-
death.
They were in such a good situation. Like 3 smallish choke points with no obvious archer angles.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they didn't let that center break, like, what was their plan in the center? Like, I guess
Even
they were going to try, like, enveloping,
What are you doing?
but then they just sent too much in. Sorry,
Yeah.
what were you gonna say?
No, it's just there's certain things where like their javelin unit got caught out and stuff. A lot of this stuff happening here. It's really sad because again, like even when they started to slip in the middle, like you were talking about, it was fine. They could have pulled back, but I mean, it's over at this point. They have half the units that the attackers have. The attackers have only used about like half of their ammo in all of their units. All of their units are just gonna get caught in effectively a sandwich. Yeah, they just couldn't let go of the middle, and now it's a mosh pit of death for their units here.
Oh, where did the non-general guards of the Teeth go?
He might be
Where did
dead.
all the polearms go? Okay, the goblins, goblin and the general are at the back. They must be dead.
Yeah. I mean, it's tragic because that was such a cool early game.
Yeah, I think they really had a good setup where they were. Just
They really did. I was so impressed.
those 3 choke points. If they had held that for as long as they could, and then maybe give it 10-15 minutes until the end of the timer, pull back with like their pole arms and a few other like empty archers, they could have easily won on time, I think, if not won out all, like overall.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, why are you pushing up your general at this point, you know? But it's... There were some really cool plays in the beginning, and that was fun to see, but I think this is... I mean, they have 900 units left. This is third time's the charm for Goblin Lives Matter. They finally have secured a victory.
Yeah, the one time that the French aren't here.
Exactly.
An entire unit has perished. Enemy units have returned to the battle.
Also, I believe it was Anonymous who asked about the French earlier, and I wanted to clarify about that because I think there was a misunderstanding there. They got DQ'd
The men are running.
from the tournament because they were not able to show up to their match. There was multiple reschedulings for them, and we pushed things back like 3 weeks, rescheduled like 2 or 3 times, and then when we finally had a match set up, the person forgot to show up. So we said, sorry, you're disqualified, and our other team is moving on to the next round. So that's what happened with the French. To clarify there. Which was very sad. We really, really tried to make it work. We wanted to see that match happen. But I mean, we had, like, this... Things needed to happen. Things needed to move along. So that's just how it goes.
The men are broken and are fleeing.
That's horrible. The guards of the Teeth General just broke with like all their men and just got slaughtered.
Goblin Lives Matter didn't have a match last week. So, all right. Yep, sometimes you got to put your foot down, and in many ways, I probably should have put it down sooner. All right, let's quickly look over these units here. I mean, yeah, there's nothing new. A few units.
So, a few units with nice kills, like the Chieftain General, not the General, but one of the soldiers. Once again, like I think they went quite heavily into high tier units, especially archers, for cheap factions on defense. that could have massively helped them if they went cheaper archers
Yeah.
on attack. Just disgusting numbers with like the rune archers and a few of the shock.
Well, with that, I guess we're gonna have to switch it over to our commentator screen and get the losing team in here, talk with them about what transpired. Yeah, I'm gonna be real. It was disappointing, but also really cool. It was, the first half of that, I was really excited. But congratulations to Goblin Lives Matter. We're gonna go ahead and get the losing team in here to talk to them. Leo, if you just want to start us off once they get in here.
Yep. Let me just get Discord up.
What's up, fellas?
Hello,
Hello.
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 So, what
Okay,
happened in that? What happened in that last game? Like, you started off really well. That sort of like the archer, like burning all the towers. I think it was reworking with delaying their attack to start. And then what was your like whole idea behind it, and what you planned to go on further?
We were trying to keep their archers outside the walls, because then we could kind of let our archers attack their infantry and not have our infantry get just gunned down by their archers. But as soon as they got their archers in the walls, I think the favor started to turn a little bit towards them. And then for me, I don't know about Tommy's side, but for me, as soon as they got behind me with his general cav, and I couldn't get my spearmen to that side, I felt like that was like the turning point. There's like nothing I could do.
Yeah, we were hoping to keep it to a couple choke points there, but then at least on my side, once they got 2 towers down, it spread me too thin. But then the choke points worked against me, and they very masterfully cut off some of my archers at the top there too. So
Yeah,
they
I mean, because like Leo said, we like genuinely, we and the people in the chat were like cheering when you guys were burning down so many of the siege towers. It was genuinely impressive, and we thought it was so cool and so well done, and we loved the way you guys were playing it. And then, like you said, it really felt like there was this wound that started to appear, where they started to make their way into the center of the camp, and you guys kept trying to like throw units at it to fix it. But like you said, they kept getting in, and we kept saying, oh, they need to like push back and like cut their losses. But it felt like you weren't quite able to ever do that, and they just kept coming in. So that was really brutal, but we really appreciated the attempt that was made. Like, we saw the vision, and it's just sad that it wasn't able to be like brought to fruition.
Yeah.
I mean, once that wound was open, it's just kind of hard to close it. So we're kind of relying on forcing them to bunch up a bit, and obviously they can outrange us with their archers, so trying to minimize that as much as we could, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, and so that was the siege battle, and still well done. That was still impressive. The land battle, though, going in versus reality, like, because obviously that one was a very different experience. What happened there for you guys?
I think the quantity over quality choice they made was the right one. Just just kind of outnumbered, outmaneuvered. Obviously, some big micro errors on my part as well. But it's it was a good choice going all light shock.
I think we kind of had built a strategy around the $18,000 gold limit for the draw battle, and so I think we assumed we'd have enough infantry to match up with them while being able to field trolls. But I think the trolls put us at a significant numbers disadvantage, especially when they're massing tier 2. So we just didn't have the front line. Once Tommy collapsed, I was kind of messed up, and the servants of the eye weren't able to do enough on the left flank for me to get any significant advantage. So
and when at least in my case, you don't have enough infantry to match, to engage the number that he has, then my spearmen are just not really able to effectively counter the wargs. So it was in a sense it was kind of a rock paper scissors that we sort of lost at the outset, but they also played it very well.
Yeah, and that's fair. And so looking back on this, was this your guys' first tournament experience?
Yeah. We're
How-
happy to be able to play the finals, but
Yeah, no, and we were happy to have you again. Like we saw the strategy you guys were going for. We talked about it, and while we all know things didn't pan out, we thought it was really cool seeing the different ways you guys approached it, especially the very unorthodox method of burning down the siege towers. Most people don't actually go for that. And it was really funny to see how the enemy team was really caught off guard by that and how effectively you guys did it. And how it wasted like 10 minutes of their time. So that was very cool to see. What was the biggest kind of difference between going from what you guys are used to, which is probably a lot of offline battles versus AI, and then suddenly playing against like high skill players in a 2v2 setting? Like, how was that different?
I mean, the pacing is very different.
Yeah.
There's a lot more intention behind each unit being used piecemeal, individually.
Yeah.
Which it changes the dynamic of the battle significantly.
Mhm.
Yeah, I also going into the tournament, I was like sure I was going to ban Rune because I knew that they had played Anduin Vale and Rune, and I really regret not banning Rune. Annoying to deal
Brutal.
with. And
yeah.
I actually am quite familiar with Gundabad, so I felt like I should have had a better chance to play into him. I think he mostly matched up against Tommy, but that's I wasn't as scared of Gundabad, but yeah, the archer advantage was significant, and yeah, also just the unit compositions that they fielded, like you can obviously AI is not going to be as good as them, but like doing creating the composition that you're going to fight, even if you're not like countering it, because that would be unfair, but just like not composing an army the same way they would was very different. So
yeah,
they definitely did some things that I wasn't expecting, like just massing tier 2 Jock in the first battle.
Yeah. Well, with that, thank you guys so much for taking the time to be a part of this tournament and also giving your insights. Congratulations on making it to the finals. We're gonna
Hard fought.
hard fought battle. You stuck with it. That's the important thing. With that, we're gonna switch over and talk to the other team. Thank you guys so much for your time.
Thank you.
Leo, why don't you go ahead and start us off?
Yeah.
Well, well done for winning in the finals to start.
For fast, yeah.
How about you go over like what plans you had, and like what were especially what were your thoughts to the start of the siege when they used fire arrows to burn a lot of towers? I think that seemed like it caught you off guard a lot.
No, it didn't. Like I just let him shoot me. Like we had other places to go in.
To be honest, there was no plan. We just went with it. Like,
Okay.
we didn't plan.
Fair
Only
enough.
for last we planned a bit. The siege we just went in.
Okay, but like, yeah, did you have any idea of what you wanted to do, or like, was there like, oh, I should avoid this, and like, were you scared of anything? I guess.
Nah. The
Not
polar,
really.
but nah. I mean, what made us win was the center when they fell back. So I just been like, oh, okay. I just rushed that center bit if you saw, like,
Mhm.
could have left their
Yeah,
center open. When they open, I just sent it up and they retreated back. I was like, okay, defend 3 more choke points then. So I was like, okay, sure, I'll do that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I described it very much so like a bleeding wound, and if you're not able to immediately like stop the bleeding, you just need to like give up. And it felt like they had that bleed happen, and they kept throwing units into it, and they weren't able to fully save themselves.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. I mean, I also just think like attacking is just much easier than defending in Dawnless Days.
That's fair, and you obviously had the range advantage. You had superior range
Oh,
units, and that makes a big difference.
Oh, Mordor's only good on land battle. They're only good on land. They suck on sieges. So when we won the land, we're like, yeah, we win this. Because Mordor has no defensive power at all. They've got pole arms, but they've got no spears. No range, which is like the most important thing there is. Same thing with goblins. Like, they've got pole arm, they don't have spears or range. So we were confident when we were attacking against those factions.
Yeah, in our interview with them, they did say that like a big part of their strategy going into it was get to the draw battle. They very much so did a lot of planning on getting to the draw battle. They also said that they really regretted not banning Rune. They actually planned on it, and then at the last minute decided not to. And they said they really wish they banned Rune.
Either way, I've just picked Harad. It's about the same. So
Yeah. True.
That's true.
Well, third time's the charm, you guys. Congratulations on getting the W.
W Riz.
Woo! All right. With that, let's end this tournament. Conquest Season 3 getting wrapped up. Well done, gentlemen. You will be earning your little rolls declaring you as the victors. Thank you so much for being here. Leo, let's close out this stream. Before we close this out, is there any final things you guys want to say?
We could do an extra game of a 2-2 right now.
Shut the fuck up. Like, you don't need to play, Jack.
That's the one.
All right. Get out. I'm kicking you guys out of VC now. I'm kicking you guys out of VC. Here, actually, what I'll do is I'll do this. I'll bring everybody in. And one last thing to everybody before the stream ends. Thank you all so much for being here, playing in this match. Well played. Well done. Look forward to seeing you guys next season. Next season, I think we focus on also hopefully having more people involved. So, congratulations, and we can all say goodbye to the people watching. All right, thank you also so much for coming in and watching the stream. All right, take care.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.
Bye.